This is the Dinette door seating. You would walk in the door, and I mean right here. That'd be pretty close to the door right there. And you'll come in right there, and your dinette seating. So this is a great big drawer. That whole space is a drawer, but we're not going to replace it with a drawer because on this side we're going to do opposite of what we normally do. We're going to put our solar charging system, we're going to put our 12 volt battery, and we're going to probably even run our 30 amp electric over to there. Maybe, maybe not. We're still in discussions about that. So this is where, normally they have a top on them. But if you remember, similar to that King, this has this really big seat. Remember this seat? This is the original out of the 1960 Shasta. We're going to clean it up real good. The upholsterer is going to take care of it, bring it right back to life because it's in great shape. It really is. We're going to, replace all the things that the mice have been in, but, like that. And replace this. But as you can see, this is wood. It's a wood frame. Hey, great camera work to open the show all the way around. And so this right here is going to sit right across here. So they didn't put any kind of board over that. Now that flipped up, sticking up, however you want to say it right here, doesn't just make this look nice. This is so on the door side, when that seat is sitting, it doesn't slide off. Because it's just wood sitting on wood. It doesn't slide off that way. Now, on the not the door side, the kitchen is right there. Actually, the stove. And there's going to be right there it is, actually. This is the stove side. That's the wall side. And this right here will be sitting out next to the not the door side dinette seat. And that keeps it from coming out. So we are going to recreate this almost exactly. Oh, don't forget this. This is where the dinette table lays down on. And then these seats are on a big metal hinge. And that keeps it from falling through. So it just sits there, makes a big bed. This is going to be a big bed. I mean, this is like 40 or 42 inches. I'll give you the exact dimensions later, but it's at least 40 inches. So it's going to be a pretty big bed, really, as dinettes go. All right, I may even try to save this. Oh, now I have to. I'm going to rescue it from the devil's nails. You are not winning today, Satan. And we're going to reuse that, put a little soul of this camper back into it. There's a lot of good stuff on here. I don't know, maybe we'll save more of it. All right, here we go. We're going to recreate that front piece that keeps the bench from moving out. And I just have a piece of Luan. It's the 0.5 millimeter, 1/4 inch. And it's from the interior walls. It's a little bit of scrap. So not only are we saving money, it's also going to match pretty well, which doesn't really matter because the way the light hits it and everything, we're amber shellacking here. So everything's going to look rich and beautiful. Hey, make sure that you like, subscribe, leave a message, ring the bell. I know I'm asking a lot. That was 4 things. But some of you have already done 3 of those, so leave me a message. On this deal, though, what I do is to make sure that I'm square, is I square the bottom straight edge with the bottom of this uncut piece of Luan, and I do the same thing here. So I've got a 90 degree right here, right here. That creates my 90. Now, there's no sense reinventing the wheel. They did it. It looked good. It's going to be just fine. So I'm just going to take my pencil, and I'm going to trace it out. So, we've got this. It's got a little bow in it. Well, that's factory specification, so we're going to keep it. Why not? So I'm going to tear this apart, cut this out. I'm going to cut a bunch of this to length as well. And then I'm just going to get stapling it and nailing it and gluing it together. There's some interesting details. They went ahead and just put the same size, looks like about a 1x1 right here to match the outside 1x1. So when they nailed in there, which the devil's nails are not even long enough to go into this. So I don't know why they did that. But we're going to go through that, and we'll probably keep this just to go through it. Why not? Let's be safe when we're sleeping. All right, I'm going to get to work. I've made a decision. See what you think. This is the top part. Really, everything's in good shape. I'm going to pull the nails out, sand it down, replace it with screws and glue. That's what I think I'm going to do on this top part because there's no water damage up here. Now, as for the base, not so lucky. We've got some water damage here and there. And these rails were built for a drawer. A drawer. And we're not going to use a drawer. So we're going to pull this apart, and how this one is down here on the bottom. That way it can be anchored into the side, and it can be anchored in or from the side, and then it can be anchored into the floor. We're going to go ahead and do that throughout here. And then we'll use all new wood, get it glued, get it screwed, and I think it's going to make for a much, much nicer look. Throw that away. Keep this. It's a really nice trailer. We got to keep as much as we can because there's going to come a time where we just got to throw things away. So I'm going to, oh, and remember there was a drawer here, right? This is where the drawer went in. No drawer. So I can either take the drawer face off and then just screw it in there and pretend, and nobody will be the wiser. Or I could take a piece and just cover this up. You know what we like to do? Make it look original, and it doesn't necessarily have to be original. You got me thinking, let me get on that. I'm going to do this right now. I went ahead and got the that first dinette seating built, and I'll show it to you here in a minute, just so I don't have to show you twice. This, however, pretty cool, is the other side. And it's got a little sliding door. Look at that. Little sliding door. So that's on the not the door side. It's going to butt up against the range we talked about later. You know, it's got that little piece right there in between it. It's a little tore up. And I've only got these many pieces, and I'm pretty sure that's really all that it was. We're going to do more than that. You know how we are. We want that to be sturdy and everything. So we can figure this out. We'll figure it out. We'll make some traces, make some measurements, and then just add things that we think can make it a little bit more sturdy. So I'm going to build that, show you some tips and tricks once I get through them, and then I'll show you both of them. There's the door that goes on the not the door side, the kitchen side, dinette. So we've got to make this rail because we want this door to slide on it without falling out. So I've got to make one for the top and one for the bottom, and then it'll slide in this rail. And this rail looks like that. So between the two, I need about 76 inches. So it's got to be at least 1/4 of an inch. So I've made it 1/4. This is really a little less than 1/4. So I'm going to make my first cut at 1/4 of an inch. Let's see how that goes. That does not look like 1/4 of an inch. I'm going to jack this up just a touch. That looks better. We're going to go back through that again. That looks a little better. Now, I've got to go out 1/2 inch, like this, and cut this. Because I don't want to take this 1/4 inch out, but I want to leave. Let me check my other piece before I get talking too big. Where did I throw that at? There it is. All right. So, we look at these two. Yeah. I need to take maybe just 1/4 off of there, so I need to go at 1/2 inch. So I'm over at 1/2 inch. Let's see what happens. Could be fun. There we go. Looks like in some spots we made it, some spots we didn't. So again, we're gonna jack it up a bit. We'll ask Russ to double time this. Much better. 3D. All right, I'm gonna clean that up and install it, and I'll show you all about it. Here's where we're at. Kind of looks a lot like many of the canned hams. So, we get like that. There's where I'm at on that deal. I've got to add a piece here, but I got to put the door in first, and then I got to put a piece down here to be the stop. So I made this door. It's just this space in here is 9 1/4, so I made this 9. So all it's going to do is just slip in right here. There we go. Boom. All the way open, all the way closed. That's what we're working on. Now I'm just going to sturdy it up so that our benches have a place to sit. All right. Let's go. Well, yeah, that's about it for me for today. Let me show you a little bit of what I finished up. This is our door side right here. We reused that. Anytime you see this brown colored wood, that's reused. We got to put some of the soul back in this. It's a Shasta. Shasta people, don't get mad at me. So I did save the rail to put the dinette on, and the other little bit of brown that you see there I saved. Of course, this is where you come in the door, and it's a bit higher. Yeah. All right, let me do this way. How about that? All right. That's higher because remember, we got that great big, well, you can see it right there. We've got those. They're original to the camper, fixing them up. But it doesn't want to slide off because it could slide off because there's nothing here but the door. So we put that right there. It's probably just about 2.5 inches. But it looks sharp, and I kept that opening. And so here's I kept the original door. I've got the hardware too. So we could put this on here, and instead of it, what did I do? Instead of it being a drawer, we'll make it a door. So we can take and put hinges down here. I saved the original hinges, and it can just pop out like this. And then you can just look at anything under there that you want. So that came together really well. We braced it up. I didn't think that it was as sturdy as it could have been. So I sturdied it up. Now, this little guy right here that we just started on a little bit ago. Nothing fancy really to see here, there. But where it is fancy is right here. We did keep the original rail for the dinette table to make into a bed. And look at that. Whoop. We made that. Whoop. Yeah, pretty cool. Pretty excited about that. First time I've done that. May not be the last time I do that. I kind of like learned something a little bit new as I go on this Shasta. I think a lot of the things are improving my skills on it, and I think I'm improving a little bit of their product. Don't tell them. They're professionals. I don't want to, well, they're under reissues now, and that didn't go so good. Look it up. But Shasta, that's what everybody likes. That's what everybody wants. And we're building one, and it's coming out really nice. So here's your dinette. We'll make the table here pretty soon. It's going to be about 34 wide, so it's not going to be much different than a lot of other campers. So waiting on the Wilson art to come in. But hey, we've got this part done, and I'll be back in a couple more days. I'll find something fun for you to look at. All right, see ya.